What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. All right, guys. So we are about to. We got 2 more days we got to talk about before we get up out of here. But so Dark Side of the Ring was this week. Last week when we seen it, because next week is the Ultimate Warrior, and I think you know what we should probably do for the Ultimate Warrior one.
That's what
it's compared, because you know WWE's playing their A&E version on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So we should watch both and see which one and how different it is, because I'm so curious. But in the meantime,
I think the both of them are probably gonna be a lie. To be honest with you, one more is a lie than the other one, because Dana Warrior is signed to WWE, so she is not about to be on there telling the truth of what happened.
Yeah,
you know. It ain't like when Bret Hart was on Dark Side the first time. He's like, "Yeah, I punched Vince McMahon in the throat and all that." Yeah, it ain't gonna be nothing like. It's gonna be like, "Oh, he was, he had a small little drug problem, a small."
Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying? And he was loving to everybody. Really? Should we go back to that speech?
Because Macho Man in the A&E. It was like he dated Gorgeous George for like 10 years. He only dated her for like 6 months.
Damn.
In real life. Yeah. I think they just trashed him. I think we need a real story on Stephanie and Macho Man. We need Dark Side of the Ring on that.
Exactly. What really happened? But in the meantime,
you know what?
What?
But real quick, I got the perfect Dark Side episode. And this, since in honor of this week, Collision in Korea, the stand down in Saudi.
Yes, that would be a Dark Side of the Ring, but you gotta wait till all them people leave.
They don't fire them all. No, they ain't fired all them people. Mark Carano, the Good Brothers. Who else? Stopped?
Luke Harper, who's dead.
Well, yeah,
Street Profits is still signed. You want to hear from Hulk Hogan?
No, I don't, but he was there. But I'm saying, they got enough people. They got enough people that they don't fire to talk about it. No people that are good.
That may be season 4 or 5. That's down the line.
All right.
I gotta get some more years under the belt. Like they wait for like Vince McMahon to be dead or something like that. So
no, they don't. All right. Just let them fire the right person. Let them fire Randy Orton. Let them fire AJ. Let them fire the right person.
Yeah, it piss them off just as much. So, but now we have the new Dark Side, Collision in Korea. Now I have to be honest with you, I was not known about this event before. I knew about this mega event about Ric Flair versus Killer Kowalski in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But I never knew about the event. I never knew what the significance about it was. And because I was a WCW guy. So in '95, this happened in '95, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So all the guys that were over there were WCW guys. They had Ric Flair. They had Crispin. They had Too Cold Scorpio. They had Scott Norton. Because see, the thing is, I was a fan of Scott Norton. I was the only fan of Fire and Ice.
5 other people.
I was actually a fan of. Remember the tag team he had, Fire and Ice, back in WCW?
Absolutely not.
Before Scott Norton became part of the NWO, he had a tag. I mean, of course he was a singles wrestler before, but he had a tag team with this huge. It was like this huge, thick black guy, and it was called Fire and Ice. And
you're really selling me hard on Scott Norton right now.
Yeah, and he came out with the fire trunks, and then the black guy came out with the ice trunks, and literally this was the tag team. And for some reason, I just like that tag team. Because I like Fire and Ice better than I like the natural disasters of Tugboat, Earthquake, and Typhoon. That was stupid.
But Tugboat and Typhoon can literally kill you.
You know, Scott Norton and Ice Train can't.
I mean, all right.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Take a silk kick to the face by Scorpio. We'll see.
And then Hawk and Eric Bischoff. So they all were on this trip. So what happens is so it was Antonio Inoki, right?
Yeah. Oh, whew.
What?
Whew.
Did I say it wrong?
No, that's his name, but I don't know if you ever heard this cartoon character called the Crimson Chin or not.
I heard of Crimson Chin.
That is the definition of this guy.
Ooh.
This guy.
I heard of Crimson Chin. You know, I got in trouble once because I told my wife that her aunt looked like that, and she was pissed. And I said it at a funeral.
Oh my God, she wasn't the one. You weren't looking down when you were saying that, were you?
Say what?
You weren't looking down at the body when you said that, were you?
No, it wasn't the one that was dead. It was the one that was. She was still living. She was there burying her husband.
Okay.
It was her husband's funeral, and you know, it's just that church that she had on. I'm like, I can see the chin come through that veil, and I was just like, dear. I said, yo, why your aunt come out here look like the Crimson Chin? And she was pissed. She laughs about it now, but at that moment, I was scared for my life.
Now this guy really, like, his chin is like out there.
It is. So Antonio Inoki, we all know about the things he's now let me get this straight because there's a rivalry just like the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans. He's from North Korea, right?
No.
So he's Japanese, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Because North Korea does not like the Japanese.
You know who else North Korea doesn't like?
USA.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to have Japanese people versus Americans on North Korean soil. I wonder how that goes.
Woo! Talk about scary. So Antonio Inoki was I said Killer Kowalski earlier. I'm sorry. I mean Antonio Inoki. He was, you know, he tried to blend the lines because, you know, he was very big in New Japan Pro Wrestling and he was into politics also. And he tried to come together to make this peace treaty of, you know, bringing peace to help him get like a bid for re-election. One of his trainers, I forgot what his trainer's name was. I should have wrote it down. But they didn't do a dark side of the ring on his trainer just alone because remember he got killed by the Japanese mafia because he lied.
Ricky Danza, I think.
Yeah,
Ricky Danza. He
got killed by the Japanese mafia because he lied about because he was really North Korean. This shit was real. You know what I'm saying? But however, that's what, you know, North Korea did respect Antonio Inoki, and there was a time I remember when he put together that program of wrestling versus boxing with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but that wasn't a match. Muhammad Ali, whatever happened, he couldn't hit him or nothing, so he had to just keep laying on the ground and kicking him. But then he got hurt like for life by that kick. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nowadays I think they could put together a better wrestling versus boxing type of exhibition because we see Floyd and Big Show do it, you know.
Yeah, but now you got to actually like not want to do, but you got to actually like, you know, be okay with it. I guess back then you can't just say I'm going to do it and your like agents and all that.
Exactly.
You know, it's different now.
So he decided to do the peace treaty. So Eric Bischoff, he calls him Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff's just like, okay, sure, we'll do it, but however, will we get in trouble by this? And because first he was just like, if we go ask for permission from the government, it'll take about 6 months. So we was thinking about just going. So they were saying, you know, would he be put in jail for this? And the first thing he said was, no, that won't be the case. So he decided to go. So the first person he asks to come on this trip is Hogan.
Of course.
And of course, he asks Hogan, and Hogan looks at him and was
wait, before we get to this, these people said, you know who we want? We want Hulk Hogan, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jackson at this show. Took me about 15 minutes.
It said, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. It kind of reminded me of the Saudi Prince. He's Hulk Hogan, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jackson. Talk about a show. Well, they couldn't get Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan told Bischoff, I'm going to have to miss that one, brother. And Hogan
which is definitely this man got pulled for no reason.
Well, first off, it was kind of probably smart by Hogan because he probably knew that he was going to lose to Antonio Onoki, and probably all the stuff that they dealt with over there, it was probably not smart.
Yeah, because I didn't want to lose. I'm the real American. I don't want to lose to somebody that's more
over. Yeah,
not more over. I'm saying, how you the real American? You go to another country, and you don't want to lose to somebody the person that they're rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
See that you lose or you die. So Hogan said, "I guess I don't want to go over there again."
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're not doing that. So then his second thing was to ask Ric Flair. And of course Ric Flair was his own, big in his own right, especially in the NWA, the Jim Crockett territories and stuff like that with WCW, but we all know that Hogan's star shined a little bit brighter, and I think Ric Flair took offense to Bischoff asking him second, but he did decide that he wanted to go. Now however, this is what I was hoping they had Ric Flair on to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So I can get his point of view how things with Bischoff, because Ric Flair will not turn out a good Bischoff story. So we get the wrestlers on trip. We get Scott Norton that comes on there. Too Cold Scorpio, who's like Too Cold Scorpio, very underrated. Now I was a fan of Too Cold Scorpio way back because he was in the Bill Watts WCW era, that early 1991, 92 era. This is the only man that I have seen today that's including in the Indies. Now I know he can't do it no more, but I'm saying, but back in the day, can he still do it?
I think he did late in 2018.
They can still do either a corkscrew or a moonsault leg drop perfectly without injuring his opponent.
And that's actually what inspired a young Austin Creed to start wrestling, right? Xavier Woods.
Exactly, and which I'm going to call the founder of the 450.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm like, because me and Prime talk about this off air that we don't think Too Cold gets the credit he deserves. And I remember Too Cold Scorpio.
Too Cold is like Too Cold for like any generation. It's like I'll say it, Jack Evans for this generation. I'll say it. I don't care.
Jack Evans.
Yes, Jack Evans. Like it or not, Jack Evans and Amazing Red are like two of the pioneers for this generation of
high flying
corkscrew. Yeah, high flying. Yeah.
Now,
obviously, Jack Evans created the 630, and Amazing Red created everything that's a corkscrew that you see. It's Amazing Red. So,
I agree with you 100% about Amazing Red. I love me Amazing Red. I'm like Jack Evans. Yeah, I'm good. Jack Evans is pretty cool. Also, even though I'm more a fan of what's his name? Epico. What's his name? His partner in AEW right now.
In Helico.
I'm more a fan of him than Jack Evans.
I'm not talking about being a fan. I'm just talking about, he's impacted the business and just then, like he's been doing these moves since like 2005, and I mean. Where do you think AJ got the spiral tap from? Yeah,
good point. Yeah, so but I'll get them guys credit, but in that early '90s high flying, Too Cold Scorpio was the guy, and I watched him in WCW, and at this time he was in ECW because he had got fired. He had some beef with Flair, which we'll get into later, and they had Hawk.
What part you didn't hear? My bad.
They brought Hawk. He wasn't with the Road Warriors. Remember, if you look at the Road Warriors Dark Side of the Ring, this is when Hawk and Animal broke up, and this is when after the SummerSlam fiasco, he went to Japan and was wrestling overseas. And this is where he was at.
Yep.
So, Antonio, what was the Japanese manager at WCW? Sonny Ono.
Oh my God, Sonny Ono. He needed the dark side by himself, honestly.
Yeah, him.
A lot of people don't know about Sonny Ono or the things he did or does or tries to get over. But, I haven't heard about a Sonny Ono stunt since WrestleMania in Orlando. So that's the last Sonny Ono stunt I heard about.
I didn't even hear about that one, but we can talk about it later. He was talking about how crazy it was going to North Korea because they hate Japanese and they hate Americans.
Exactly.
Flat out. There's no way around that thing. There's no like, well, maybe you did some nice one, stuff like that. No, it wasn't. So when they was on the plane, Tuco Scorpio said that when they was in North Korea, he see the cannons pointing up towards South Korea. Then when they were in South Korea, they see the cannons pointing up to North Korea. And he was like, yo, what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Mm-hmm.
When they got off, they raided their bags, took their passports, took anything that was like, Americanized, and they said they did not feel welcome when they came over in that country.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was times where they had to go, they had to pay their respects to this fallen icon of their community. But by the way, before we get into that, Scott Norton talks about how, because it seemed like Scott Norton is a huge Muhammad Ali fan.
Probably the only black person he knew. All right, my bad.
Along with his tag team partner, Ice.
Nah, that was just his young boy.
He said, so he said, yo, man, he said he came out, he started doing magic tricks with stuff like that. Now, I at this time, I didn't know if Ali was starting to suffer from Parkinson's or not, but the way he was talking, he wasn't. Or if he did, he didn't show it. But they did have little clips of Muhammad Ali.
This was what, 95?
95, yeah.
I believe he did, because what year was that? That was 96 where the Olympics was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He had to. If not, then he got it in 96, because 96, not trying to make fun of Muhammad Ali, but if you see him do the torch, it's hard to watch.
Don't make me laugh.
That's all I'm gonna say is it's hard to watch him do the torch.
Yeah, but it seemed like in '95 he was kind of okay, or maybe he was still, something was still wrong with him, but he was just still being him, probably in a way. So a lot of guys were taken back of seeing Muhammad Ali and stuff on there. So they had to.
I mean, he could. What if he could have just been suffering? They just didn't even notice when they meet Muhammad Ali. It's like, Yeah,
I say it could have been one of those things too. They they talk about they're meeting this prime minister guy. They're falling dead. I don't know if it was a ex-president of theirs and stuff like that. They had to go down to the grave and give them give honor and tribute and things like that. So there was a lot of things. So they felt very uncomfortable in this place. And as they're getting ready for this wrestling match, so then we get into one of the stories.
I just want to say real quick.
I'm listening.
I got one of the stories real quick. I just want to ask, just might as well put it out there again for no reason. Ain't tell nobody. Who does Eric Bischoff think he is to just go jog in a foreign country where he can't even have his passport?
Bro, can I just say that's like, you know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say.
What?
You know that's white privilege. That ain't nothing but some white privilege shit. But hey, he just going around there and just jogging. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with jogging in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But now I ain't gonna jog no morning. Around no country or no neighborhood that hate me. That's like me going to the backwoods of Mississippi and taking a jog. We already see somebody killed last year for jogging. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna go over well. But before we even get to the jogging, Scott Norton talks about how they want to go play some pool. It took the lady about 2 hours to clear them to be able to go get pool balls to play pool. And he hit one of the pool balls, and it fell and it hit on the marble floor, and then the sergeants went off. Which, by the way, they were being followed by these guards everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Everything was bugged.
Everything was bugged. Even when Scott Norton left his room, he would go down to Christopher Wild's room. You see somebody's somebody's outside guarding each room. Like, my God.
Why would he go to an empty room?
Here you go. Here you go. So there was an incident where they bring up about Too Cold Scorpio and Hawk. And the incident was where they was about to get on this bus, and because Hawk was hanging out with Ric Flair, and Too Cold Scorpio had an issue with Flair because he felt as though that Flair had got him fired from WCW years earlier. He still had a grudge against him. So Ric Flair was supposed to get on the bus, and then I don't know if it wasn't enough room or something like that, but then Too Cold made a comment, said, "Hey, that pussy can go ride with somebody else." And Hawk turned around and said, "What did you say?" And he said, "What part do you not hear?" I said, "That pussy or can go ride with somebody else." So Hawk gets mad. Now Too Cold claims that he called him the N-word. And then he's like, "All right, so what you gonna do?" So Hawk gets up, he swings at him. He missed, and then Too Cold just started laying on him with like all these different like 5 punches to the face, and they had to try to come break them up. Too Cold takes off his shirt, gets like a karate kick right to Hawk, right to his face, and just creates space between them. And it sounds pretty much like Hawk got his ass whooped. You still there, bro?
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Now, Scott Norton, who obviously probably is friends with Hawk, claimed that he was suffering from hepatitis C because of all the shit. Hawk did a lot of shit. We've seen that on the Dark Side of the Ring. Hawk did a lot of shit, and he said that he was on this medicine that makes you nauseous, gives you flu-like symptoms, just makes you very weak. And he said, now if he had faced the real Mike, he would have killed him.
Sure.
So here's, fine. If you would, if it's not up to me to be like, hey, who would have won that fight? If you're gonna, that's your friend. You're gonna protect your friend. I'm not gonna sit here and say Too Cold ain't a legit guy. You know what I'm saying? Because he could be a legit bad. It's like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, but that's like somebody saying, Nate Robinson could have beat Jake Paul, if he, had some better shoes.
Yeah, I guess it's saying his excuse was he won at 100%. But here's the thing: this is the thing I'm thinking. Whether this man is at 100% or he's on drugs or he's weak because of the drugs he's taking to help try to make him feel better, you swung at me. So by definition, you about to get your ass hit. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
It'd be different if Too Cold seen this man is obviously sick. He's not at 100%, and he go over there and pick on him and just whoop his ass because he ain't do nothing. Then that's being a bully. But according to him, he wanted to defend for Ric Flair, and he wanted to take a swing, and then Too Cold whooped his ass. So they what comes next? Is this when Scott Norton tries to call his wife?
Probably.
Yeah,
going all over the place. Might as well.
Yeah. So Scott Norton back at the hotel. He tries to call his wife, and he calls his wife. He's like, "Yo," he finally gets through. He says, "Yo, you don't know what we've been dealing with over here." And his wife thinking he out there partying with the boys and stuff like that, and drinking out there, him and the horn and cheating and stuff. And he was just like, "No, you don't understand. We in Korea. This is shit over here." And then the phone just
sure, that's what her name is.
What?
Korea.
No, I said he said it's bad over here.
I'm saying he said, "Yeah, I'm in North Korea." Sure, that's what her name is.
That's I get it. I should just say, yeah. So then the phone goes there. He said, "I thought she hung up on me." Then all of a sudden, somebody called his door and said, "You need to come with me." And he was scared out of his mind. He gets in this room, and then he said, "This is one guy that speaks perfect English." He says, "You cannot say anything negative about North Korea. We are superior. We are the best country that's out there, and you can't be bad talk about that because." Scott Norton felt as though that they would have put a bullet in his head right there. And he felt as though that if it wasn't for Antonio Onoki being there and Muhammad Ali, he would have been dead.
I mean, let's just face it. I'm surprised Scott Steiner didn't kill everybody and start a war. Let's be honest.
I can see the Steiner brothers doing some stuff like that. That's why
Not
I
even
wanted
the
to hear from
Steiner,
the Steiner
just
brother.
Scott by himself. Imagine if that would have been Scott Steiner when he hit the ball and the ball would have went on the floor and they would have took all the stuff from him. Can you imagine what Scott Steiner? That's gonna start a war. I'm telling you right now.
For Scott Steiner, yeah, damn Skippy, that's gonna start a war. That's crazy. That is crazy right there.
I think that's the hardest story I have believing. You mean to tell me Scott Steiner was on his P's and Q's the whole time?
No, he wasn't. And that's why I wanted to know about that. Also, Eric Bischoff said early in the morning he wanted to go for his jog, his little workout, and he was going for a jog. And then he said it was dark out there, it was nobody out there. And as he was running, he said as more of the daylight started coming, people started waking up. People was just looking at him like they were feared and shocked because this American guy is running through the whole neighborhood, and he's an American. He doesn't understand what's going on, and
it's almost like that scene in Life.
Which one in Life?
The one where the dude is running away. The one where the dude is running away and everybody's looking at him.
Oh, like, yeah.
What are you doing? Like that scene.
Yeah, you're right. He said it creeped him out. And also, when they also got off the plane the first time, that's when, remember the lady told him, you were the seventh American that has walked through a career that's not either been killed or captured.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Because that makes you feel great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So we get to the big event that they had. They, according to what happened, they forced everybody to be there. If they did not come, it's a bullet.
Then they
Scott Norton was like, "Hey man, everybody's really turning out because they're coming to see Flair and they come to see all that." And he says, "No man, it's a bullet in the head if these people don't show up." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
And they packed in 198,000 people.
We still got more people than WrestleMania though.
Exactly. So that's what Too Cold said. He said the only thing I got over Hulk Hogan is that I said I wrestled in front of 198 people, 98,000 people twice, and Hulk Hogan said he did that, and I was like, damn, that's true shit. So I was like, okay, so but the show, they said, was dead quiet. If anybody knows about a Japanese show, knows that those shows are dead quiet, and they do it out of respect and honor. And then he said a lot of people were just looking because they did not understand what was going on when it came to like professional wrestling. And you see the crowds in their face when they're trying to understand it. Then of course the main event came along when it was Ric Flair and Antonio Onoki, and then eventually that was what got the crowd into it a little bit, and then they won over the crowd. So I thought that was cool.
I think they didn't. I don't think they won over the crowd per se, but I think they used Ricky Danza. That was his manager. He used to be his manager.
Mm-hmm.
Since he was Korean, he said, "Hey, I used to have a Korean manager. Cheer for me." So that's why they started cheering for Onoki.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. So, but it seemed like everything was, the show seemed to be a success. They had him in the palm of their hand. They started cheering at the end of the show. There was, they were also invited to this. I don't know if this was a palace thing or something like that, but this is the whole Muhammad Ali run up the stairs thing, where he took off his jacket, he ran up the stairs, started doing the shadow boxing. And then Scott Norton was like, "Oh man, you know what I'm saying? That made my trip." And Too Cold said the same thing. But we're not done with Too Cold and Hawk. Not by a long shot. Because
Not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest at all. So what happens is Too Cold said, "Look, man, we on a peace treaty, man. And we supposed to be out here by peace, so let's squash this thing." So Hawk swings and hits him again. So, and then he says, "All right."
Didn't learn this lesson.
Yeah, he's like, "All right then, man. Okay, so I ain't gonna just let him just go out there and hit me then." So they went to dinner, and they had these two little steel chopsticks. So he stashes one in his pocket, and he is rumored with Crispin. So,
oh my god,
yo, peep this. So he's out there sharpening this chopstick right in this window frame, and he was like, make it a stick. He said, yo, my daddy went to jail, you know what I'm saying? I know how to make this. And Crispin was like, yo, what are you doing? He said, yo, I'm about to kill that motherfucker. I'm about to go kill Hawk. He said, whoa. Crispin Wild, I had to say his whole name, was being the force of reason to Tuco for not killing somebody.
Kill somebody. Yeah.
The irony.
Don't kill that person, but I get to kill everybody I want to.
Bro, the irony. Like, it was funny if Tuco said that, like, yo, bro, the irony of what he told me. And he was like, no, because he said they got our pets and everything. And if you go out and kill Hawk, he said that you will be stuck here for the rest of your days. Because he won't be able to get back to able to get back to Japan or get back to the United States at all. And he was just like, all right, fine. So fast forward to part 3 of the meetup. He said he sees Hawk and they both get on the elevator together. They ain't saying nothing. And he says, look, all right, man, so what you want to do? And he comes over. He claims, he said that he apologized. He didn't have his steroids. He didn't have his drugs, or he didn't have anything left on him. So he said, I just lost my temper that day. He said, so I apologize. I accept your apology. Okay, you accept my apology? Fine. Then he said, all right, but when we get back to Japan, if you want to squash this, we can squash this. Or Tokyo, whatever he said, but it just never happened. So,
I like the B-roll. The B-roll of he was still pulling that thing out of his pocket just in case.
Say
chopsticks. What? The B-roll where they had them like the people interpret like doing the.
Yeah.
He was still pulling the chopsticks out of his pocket just in case.
Exactly, like yo, bro. Like, so what you gonna do? Yo, first of all, was that story crazy or what?
I thought it was a funny story.
Do you think Too Cold could actually kill Hawk?
Yeah. With chopsticks, I mean, depends on where at, yeah.
I mean, if they could have that whole stabbing thing with Sid Vicious and Arn Anderson, I'm pretty sure they can.
Which should also be a Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I'm like, where is that story at? Where is the Sid Vicious Arn Anderson thing? Because both of them don't work for WWE no more.
Yeah, maybe Arn the one that got stabbed, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he just don't want to talk about it. Who knows?